Ooh, okay.
Yep, it'd be
The
like
things you
that.
do see.
Yep. Anyway, is everyone ready?
They can't. They're muted, but I will assume. If you're not ready, type
Yeah,
or
just
unmute
say like,
yourself.
hold on in lesson room channel.
You're good? Everyone's good? Alright, I think everyone is good.
Okay, thank you so much, Laura, for interacting with us. Anyway.
Alright.
Everyone else is just like, okay, anyway.
It's okay, it's okay.
Alright, so last week, it has been a week since our last lesson, so why not do a quick recap? So we introduced some very, 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 very introductory Python concepts and just general coding concepts, like variables, integers, floats, commenting, and is that all we did? I think so.
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Okay. So to sign a variable, just like very quick recap, to sign a variable, you basically just type the variable name and then equal sign,
fave color.
equal sign, and then
and this is a string, remember? Remember the string because the favorite color is a number. It's a word, not a number. So let's say my favorite color is chartreuse. Be fancy.
Puce. Do you know another one called Yina's favorite color? Kevin, what's your favorite color?
Yeah. Kevin, he ain't here.
Alright, whatever. Screw Kevin.
It's okay. We just have two favorite colors.
Someone type their favorite color out right now. And you gotta be featured
in the lesson room. First come, first serve.
Oh shoot, it's Kevin. Okay, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. Okay, Kevin said blue.
Okay, you know what?
Oh, perfect. Here.
Let's just do everyone.
Kev, Cora, Jim. Jim, etc. Blue. Everyone likes blue.
No.
Oh, except for Jacob. Sorry, Jacob. Oh my gosh. Yeah, here. It's okay. We'll do you next time.
Okay, fine. You can be next time. Okay. And we also did print statements. Shoot, I forgot that. Okay, so print statement is basically when you want to input any not input. You want to output something on like the actual screen. You want it to show up. You actually have to call a print statement, or else it'll kind of just like run, but it won't actually show anything. So print statement is just when you want like text or numbers to actually show up in like the execution window.
I will add a question mark because we will add that later.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys can probably guess what you want to put in there, but if you know, then you can type it up in your own code. I expect everyone to be typing along because that's how you learn.
Yay! Okay.
Etc.
Now we have everyone's favorite colors. Okay, so that's basically the basics of what we did last week. This is a commenting, which is useful when, let's say you're sharing your code with someone else, so you have to kind of bridge the gap between the understandings of like whatever you're coding and whatever they're coding. So code is basically just anything that you type as a comment. Sorry, comments. A comment is basically just anything that you type that you don't really want the computer to know, but it's there for reference for, let's say, another person. So anything that you type as a comment, the computer, like Python, is just going to ignore it. But it'll be useful for like human users, you know?
Yep.
Okay,
so let's say we want to replace them now. So this will be my favorite color, and Yina's favorite color. You refer back to the variable, and that is, I'm just going to copy and paste it. Oops, not that. There we go. So now, if we run it, yay!
Okay.
It works. So that's a quick recap.
And we also know that Python executes its code, like it reads the code one line at a time. So let's say Michelle's favorite color isn't chartreuse anymore. She wants it to be something else.
Yeah. So let's say after I hear that there are lots of colors, I'm like, oh my gosh, never mind. I want purple now. There you go. Now Jacob, you have purple. So now I have purple. And after this, what Python does is it replaces the original favorite color, that was chartreuse, into purple. So now when you run it, it's going to say purple instead.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so this week we're going to be introducing one new concept and kind of tying it up with what we've already learned. So basically,
Wait, can I
we've
comment this out? How do I comment this? Oh, right. Also, a quick trick keyword type on REPL. If you highlight everything you want to comment and then do a command plus a slash key, it comments out everything automatically for you. I'm just doing this in case anyone wants to reference back to this in the future, but right now it's not relevant because we're moving on.
How do you uncomment like a block?
You just do it again. Just highlight command slash. There you go.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So as we progress, we're gonna run into the situations where sometimes we'll want to, we don't know like the value of a certain variable before you write the code. We actually want to interact with the user as the code is running. And what I mean by this is that sometimes you want to run like a block of code multiple times because you want to assign different variables. You want to assign different values to a variable. And it's not exactly like the most convenient to change a variable like a favorite color into different color every single time, like in the code, when we can just write it in a certain type of way where it'll actually ask us what a favorite color is every time.
So you don't have to change the code, you can just answer it in the actual code.
Yeah.
Like
So
when
it
it's
doesn't really
running.
make that much sense right now because you don't
Here, let's type it out. Let's type it out.
Oh yeah. So basically what I'm getting at over here is we're going to be learning something called an input statement. And it sounds like exactly what it is. Basically asking user for input.
Okay, so let's say let's change something from color. Color is boring. Let's say save activity equals. Okay, so now let's introduce the input statement. Right. So for input statements are formatted like this. You write input and then you write something in the brackets. And as you can see, input is purple because Python recognizes it. So what you put in the brackets is essentially what you want to appear on the screen for the user to see. So it should be, what's your favorite activity? Oops, I spelled that wrong. There we go. So I think, wait, let's just run it. So see, it says, what's your favorite activity? And now I can type something in here actually, on the black screen on the right. So I can say, I like to, let's say sledding. And
Oh,
then enter.
it's sweating.
I love sledding, yeah. Of course.
Okay.
It's out of space here.
Awesome.
Formatting. So he's sledding, and what happens now is that, here, I'll let Yina explain it.
Alright. So basically every input statement is going to be formatted like that. The reason why we have the full variable in the beginning is because there's really no point in asking the user for an input if we're not going to use that value later. So every value that we ask for has to be stored in some kind of variable name. And that's why we have save activity equals. So basically what it does, when Python reads this code, it says, okay, I'm going to create the variable name save activity. I'm going to assign the value of whatever the user inputs after what's your favorite activity to the variable name save activity. So now we have that stored.
Yeah.
And once in the execution window, Michelle Michelle hit enter, right? So that means after you hit enter, that value stored to favorite activity. So
It's such a weird wording. Such a robotic wording.
I like to something on the weekend.
I like to sledding.
I love the activity.
I love the activity of. It's okay. We're doing CS here, not English.
We're CS, not English.
I love the activity. It's so robotic. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Activity. There we go. And let's add an exclamation mark to be exciting. All right. So let me give you 5 seconds. Think of what this will print. All right. Let's run it again. And you see, now we get to input it. So what's your favorite activity? Yina, what's your favorite activity?
My favorite activity is taking a fat nap after calc.
Okay. Taking a fat nap after calc. Enter. Yes! You see? So essentially what this does is now you get to interact with the code with every single new cycle. So now you don't have to go back and change a variable every time you want to change it. You can just enter it in the actual code when it's running. And it essentially replaces it for you. There you go. Nice. So that's an input statement.
Nice. Okay. So another concept from last week we can apply to this week is the whole difference between floats, strings, and integers. So let's say what's like an example of a scenario where we have to ask for a certain number?
Oh, how many hours? No, actually, no. That'll be very depressing if I ask how many hours of sleep. Let's say, how many siblings? Siblings.
All right. How many siblings do you have?
Okay, so let's say we want the user to input it. So I'm about to make a mistake here, but I will explain why it's a mistake afterwards. How many siblings do you have? All right. And then, how do I show that it is? Okay, let's say. Okay, here.
No,
I'm gonna make up a whole story.
wait,
My
oh, okay,
mom is
fine.
having another child. Yay! Oh, I spelled it wrong. Hold on. Yay! And then you can print. Wait, oh my gosh, it's so convoluted. Current num equals num siblings plus 1. Now I have this many siblings.
Okay,
plus
nice.
Num siblings. Alright, so yeah, do you want to explain what I want this code to do?
Okay, so Michelle will ask the user for the amount of siblings that they have, and then she created this little scenario where her mom is having another child. So basically, she'll have 2 print statements. My mom is having another child that sets up the scenario, and then the second statement will basically print the amount of siblings I have is now equal to num siblings, which is the num siblings before plus 1 because I don't know, you're having another child, something like that.
Exactly. If your mom has another child, you have another sibling. Okay, so let's comment this out because we don't want this to run. Let's run this. Alright. So how many siblings do I have? I have 2 siblings, actually. Oh, you see, there is a difference. There's an error.
Wait,
like...
wait. Before we give you the answer, does anyone remember why this happens?
Oh, okay. Can anyone guess why there's an error? It says can only concatenate. Concatenate is just a fancy word for add. You can only add string to string. You can't add. Wait. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone? I think
Good job, guys.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, people who are typing. Yes, exactly.
Awesome. So what do we do? Do you guys remember?
Okay, so yeah. So what do we want this number of siblings to be? Because right now, this is a string. We need to string it. I wouldn't say we need to string it.
No, we do need to string it later.
Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, we need to string it later, but there's another difficulty. Oh, I made it too difficult. It's fine. Okay. So we need to string it right here, right? Because this is supposed to be an integer, so we have to string it. And that's correct.
I'm getting
but
so
there's another
answer the questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's another mistake. Yes! Yes! Queens!
Okay, we're getting ourselves.
Okay,
no.
So
you guys all had the right idea.
But there's an issue before that, and it's in this line. So if you look at it, it says, I'm just going to say it to you. I'm sure if you guys take enough time to figure it out, but I'll just explain it just for now. So if you look at current number, it's number of siblings plus 1. And in this case, we need both number of siblings and 1 to be integers. Because if this is a string, you can't really add an integer to it. And, okay, we didn't tell you this, so we kind of left things out, so it was kind of unfair. But input by itself, it only takes whatever the user inputs, it takes that in as a string. So input takes user input as string. But in this case, we want this to be an integer, right? So we actually do this. Wow. Wow.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Input takes it as an integer. Alright, so that's the key thing that we didn't tell you guys, so yeah, it was kind of unfair, but you have to turn it into an integer. So what this does now, it takes, when Python reads int input, it says, it takes the user input and it assumes that it's a number. So now it assigns number of siblings as a number. And now when you're on this line, it can add it properly. And once we're back to this line, we have to turn it back into a string so that we can add it to the print statement. So it kind of goes back and forth, but it's required just because we want to be able to do math with it. So does anyone need to explain it? Does anyone need more explanation, or is that okay?
And Michelle, you could just instead of string it, you could just do comma instead, which is what I usually do.
I know, but I don't like using commas.
I know, but
you could totally just use a comma instead. Okay, or you could do. Oh, hold on. I'm just gonna delete this. Okay, so you could do this, or you could just delete it and then replace this with a comma. And then in that case, you delete the space because the comma automatically adds space. So you can do that instead, but I just like plus signs. It's up to you.
Yeah, right, the difference is like once again, like Python doesn't really care if it has to print a string and then an integer, but it kind of goes anal when you try to add a string and an integer. So that's why we run into this.
Okay, so let's try again. Run. How many siblings do you have? Let's say your parents went ham and I have 8 siblings. Okay, I have 8. Oh wait, hold up. Oh wait. Oh, does anyone know why this is wrong? I unintentionally made this mistake, but it's something that I do so much in code. Okay, someone read over this code very carefully, and you can try to figure out why it prints 8 instead of 9. If you understand.
Debugging.
Debugging, yes. Sandra.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Yes, good job. Okay, so I made a mistake because I accidentally did num siblings, and I didn't actually put the actual thing. That's just an easy fix. Let's try again. Let's say I have 0 siblings. Yay, it works! Isn't that amazing?
Well, okay, in that case, maybe it's directly incorrect to say my mom's having another child, but we can negate that case in
whatever.
Next lesson. No, we can account for that in next lesson when we learn about if.
True.
Ooh, okay.
Wait, let's say, okay, and also, wait, what if we do like -8? Okay, it works. That's not. You know what? We can account for that in next week's lesson as well.
Woo, okay. So, just wanted to throw this in there. It's just a terminology thing, but you know how okay, so num siblings is that variable that we get at the very beginning. And then you see how, okay, Michelle changed the name to current num instead, so she created another variable, but she could have kept it the same variable.
Oh, right, I could have.
Yes, do you want to try that?
Instead of doing that, I could have done this, and then we could teach them the shortcut. Oh, smart. Okay, so let's say instead of doing that, I just overrode the original statement so that I replace the number of siblings with number of siblings plus 1. So if we run that, it should still work. Let's say I have 3. Oh wait, never mind, it doesn't work. Hang on. Did I spell something wrong?
Yep. You did num sibling at the end.
Oh, frick. Did I? No. Stop. Run. Oh my gosh, I think... Hold on. No! I think the code just crashed. Give me a second. Hang on. Clear. Run. Bruh. Please run. Okay, there we go. Sometimes it does that. You just gotta smack it a little. Alright. So now it works. So now we only have one variable. And honestly, it's easier. So it's honestly a matter of preference, but you could also do this. So you can override it. Right?
Yep. Because once again, like Python kind of reads one line at a time. So that's something you can actually do. And we also have a special name for that. We call that an increment statement.
Alright.
Increment statement, right? That's what we call it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's an official name for it, but
I don't know. I think Shaman called it that. So basically it's just a fancy word for saying when you take a variable and you add one, or you add something, or you like subtract something to the variable's previous value. And there's actually a different way we can write that as a code.
Yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts because when you get into like more fancy code, you're lazy, you don't want to type as much. There's actually 2 ways to show this. Okay, so I'm just gonna type them both out and then I'll explain it afterwards. So I can do this, or I could do. I think. Wait, does this support plus plus, or is that only processing?
I don't think that's.
Wait, I don't think it supports. Never mind. Sorry, ignore that. That's in a different language. Alright, so let's let Yina, you want to explain this?
Oh.
Actually, you don't have to explain it. It's literally just the same thing.
Yeah, the 2 things, it basically just does the same thing. Plus equals and plus variable name plus 1. It does the same thing. So I'm lazy, so I usually do the second one. But if the first one makes more sense.
Yeah, it's when you don't want to write the variable twice.
Sometimes you get like really long variable names.
You can also replace it. So like, let's have this. My mom is having twins. So now you have plus 2. Try that. So let's say I have 4. Yay, it works. So yeah, you can change this number however you want.
And you can also do, let's say you have something like number of cakes I have.
Oh no.
In the case where like,
I was about to say. Yeah, let's not keep this example.
Not the siblings.
How many cakes do I have?
My mom is baking cakes.
No. I ate an entire one of the cakes. Oops. So now instead of plus, oh wait, no, I ate my cake. Num cakes. Yeah. Okay. Cakes I have is equal to. So now we don't want to add them because you're eating one of the cakes. So instead, okay, so we can write it in 2 ways again. We can write this -1, or if we're very, very lazy, which programmers usually are, we just do this. And that's a lot faster, isn't it? Well, let's send this. How many cakes do I have? Let's say I have 15 cakes because I'm greedy.
Cool.
I have 15. See, that works.
Yay. All right. Another type that we didn't really touch on that much today, but you know, like why not, is a float. So I think I've thrown the term around once in a while, but we've usually just been focusing on integers. But some cases, when you need to use a float, that's just when you need to keep the decimal places. So integer will automatically cut off the decimals. So if you have something like 1.3333 and you put that in an int function, it's just gonna cut off the 333. It doesn't round.
Yeah. So let's say random number is equal to 1.3333. Print random number. Wait, is that how it works? Wait, no, I don't want this.
Take a look.
Oh, what the heck? What is this? What the heck? There we go. Okay, wait, never mind. Let's say we want to int the random number. There you go. Wait.
Why did you just put int?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's just like little detailing stuff at this point. Okay, now it works.
Yep.
So an int cuts off the bottom. It doesn't actually round. If I did 1.99999, it's still gonna go down to 1. It just cuts off from the decimal entirely.
So if you wanna, let's say you're doing like, I don't know, you're calculating like the grade that you have or something. I don't know. You can take an input of how many marks was the test out of, and how many marks did you get out of it?
Okay, let's say
this is a very relatable situation.
Here, let's just find the average of 2 numbers. Let's be easy.
Okay, we can do that.
First num is equal to 2. Second num is equal to 3. Average is equal to first num plus second num, and you have to add mass. Remember, very important. 5 by 2. Print. The average is plus average. And again, don't forget. Or you can put it in a comma. I just did plus because that's what I usually do. But it's up to you. Okay. Okay, so that works.
Yep. So that's a float. And if you were ever in a situation where, wait, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. Because I don't know.
Yeah, we can.
I was quiet for a second, so I was like, All right.
Mhm.
So if you're ever
That's
in a
okay.
situation where you need to take like a decimal value instead of like an integer value, same thing applies to what we were doing before. Instead of int input, you can do float input.
Oh, right. Yeah, so let's say we want the user to input float input. What number do you want? Okay. All right. So now that we have float, that means that we can turn this into a float. So let's say I want to be mean to Python, do that. And now we can do decimals.
Awesome. All right.
Nice.
So I think basically covers the content of this lesson.
Yep, short lesson today.
Yes. Okay.
Ooh,
Well,
okay, now we
we're
have a
finishing very
challenge.
soon.
What? Oh, how the time? Make sure to let me. We're just wrapping up. Because I'm gonna open attendance. Let's say open attendance in 2 minutes because I want to explain this challenge little problem thing. Okay, nice.
Yeah, make
okay.
sure you guys don't leave the voice call until we say we're all clear.
Until he can open.
We've got to tell you guys last time.
All right. Okay. Now that you guys know input statements, let's make a new challenge. I'm just gonna delete all of this. Hopefully, you guys already need it. If you need anything, just let us know.
Wait. Just comment it out because you might want to post it so you can refer to it later. Like post the links.
Why does it do that? Never mind, it's gone now. I think that was just a bug. Sometimes it's just buggy. Okay, so let's ignore all this. We're just okay. All right, so challenge for lesson 2. So write a program that what was it? That asks for your name and things that you want in your Subway sandwich. If you want to be fancy, add additional variables for type of bread, cheese, toasted, etc. And then print out your Subway order. Hey. Okay. Nice.
Awesome. So if you guys
wait.
try
Okay,
that out.
Too. Okay, we're good. You can open attendance now. Alright, so you guys can try that out, and I'll write it too, of course. And after you're done, if you want to, please do share it in the lesson room because I love looking at them. You can be as ridiculous as you want. You can do like, you can change anything up. It doesn't have to be a Subway sandwich.
Use bread. You can use like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to use like lettuce as my buns or something like that. I don't know.
Yes, a lettuce bun. Or you can use, I don't know,
tires.
A sealskin.
Like tires.
Challenge ever. You don't have to submit them. You can do them. You don't do them whatever you want. I would like you to submit them just because I want to see them. But you don't have to. Obviously, no pressure. And it doesn't have to be a Subway order. Again, if you're creative, I will be very happy. And I don't know, I'll give you a virtual high five.
Virtual high five. We'll react. Yay to your message.
Yes.
Anyway, Michelle, you have some links. A link, right, to the practice problems.
Hold on. Let me just look. I'll post them later.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, bottom line is Michelle prepared some practice problems for you guys, and we'll post a link in the lesson room channel. Yeah, I'll post a link
All
to
right,
it
cool.
channel. Once she finds them.
Okay, sounds good. For now, work on this challenge. Let me know if you see any. Let me know if you make any, and thank you for joining in this lesson.
Yeah, and if wait, don't leave yet though.
Oh yeah, don't leave yet. Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
so
don't
wait,
leave if you need to take attendance.
yeah.
Where's
And
Keegan?
if you guys need any help like debugging, because I know like when you first start coding, if you some of you guys might be like new, like beginner. When you first start coding, sometimes it's hard to grapple the syntax, just kind of like the grammar of coding. So if you guys ever need help debugging, be sure to like I don't know, take a screenshot of like the error and then put it in this channel, so then me, Michelle, or any other execs or maybe your fellow club members can help you guys out.
All right, where is Keegan? Please, Keegan. I don't want to spam him.